Hi guys, and welcome to the last part of our tutorial. So now we're going to open up our mesh inside of Photoshop so we can paint directly onto it. Now we need to navigate to our project folder, and we're going to select the OBJ that we exported. Now, personally, I found that you get more success with this version of Photoshop opening properly if you open the file up from the folder and not open it Photoshop first and open it. Sometimes Photoshop wants to be a button and be like, you've opened the wrong file or wrong type of file or something like that. So I found that by just opening it, like double clicking it like this and opening it up in Photoshop, it tends to work out a lot better. So we're going to load up our Photoshop, wait for it to come in, and then we can dive in and start painting. So I'm going to pause it for a second because it's going to take a minute to load. Oh, well, actually I think it's about to be done in a second. There it goes. Alright, so we have it, and we're going to wait. It's going to load in our model, and there we have our t-shirt. Now when you're navigating inside of Photoshop, actually, hang on one second. Let me change this so I can have a window so you guys can see everything I have. Okay, and this is much better. So when we're working in Photoshop, with 3D stuff, you are probably tempted to turn it and use the 2D navigation tools. I'm not going to say 2D manipulation tools, and that's like, oh, we want to move it. We have to grab the move tool, and then you can move the shirt around like this, right? Well, no, don't do that. You'll break it. And you may be tempted to zoom in by using the magnifying glass. While that does make the scene bigger, it doesn't actually zoom in on the mesh itself. This is because these are actually tools used for 2D stuff, regular Photoshop painting things. You have to use the 3D Photoshop tools if you want to manipulate the environment properly while you're painting. And those are usually found right here at the bottom of your toolbar. So you see there's a little circle with a sphere with a ring around it. This is our rotation tool. So you can click and rotate your garment around if you want to. Or you can use the little, this manipulator up here. I forgot what that's actually called. But you can use that, the arrows. And you can even click on the white one if you need to zoom in or zoom out on it. If you want to pan, however, or like manually click a button or something, just click and hold on the sphere with the loop, and it'll give you a bunch of self-explanatory options for you to play with, like roll, so it lets you rotate it from the side, pan, lets you slide it around, and 3D slide, let's not play with that one. And object scale, which like this or like that. I'm not sure. I never actually used that at all. I've always just stayed kind of here with the rotate, roll, and possibly the pan. If you want, you can actually rotate the camera around. I use the zoom this way to bring it closer. And you can use the grab to move this around. But again, I don't really use it. Sometimes I use the magnifying glass to zoom in, make the screen a little bit bigger. Or a fit screen makes that right. So that's how you use the controls. Other than that, it really is just like using a regular Photoshop. Because once we establish our layers in the diffuse window, we can just start painting on it like you would, using all your favorite brushes and techniques and stuff to actually design your t-shirt. So speaking of which, let's actually start setting this up so we can get into painting. So I'm going to go over here on the right side of the screen, in the bottom right actually, and where it says layers, you're going to see there's a blank layer, and it's going to say textures and diffuse, and then you see basic t-shirt. So I'm just going to double click on that, and it's going to open up our texture, and luckily sometimes it will apply the texture in here that our bake map, but if it doesn't come in there, you just open up your dev kit. No, not that one, that's wrong. Open up your project folder right here, I think. Not that one either. Anyway, you just open up your project folder and drag it into the screen, and then you'll be able to have your shadow map in there. But we want to keep the integrity of our shadow map. We don't want to paint directly on top of it, or else we'll lose all the detail that we had put in there. So what we need to do first is go to the bottom right again where it says layers, and this time check this little box. It's in between a folder and a trash can, and this box is the new layers button. So let's just create a new layer, and now we can paint on top of this without interfering with our bottom layer. So that's neat. Now, right now it's just flat and it's covering on top of the layer, overriding our shadow map. Not exactly doing anything, no blending. So that's when you play with the layer settings. Right now it's in normal mode. Actually, I'm going to take this and put it in red so it looks better. You won't really see anything in black. And let's see. Let's say we want to make this magenta shirt and we want it to blend together. Well, you can just switch it from normal to multiply, and you see now we're painting on top of it with the shadow map kind of shining through. Now you can choose any setting that you want here until you get the overall effect that you're going for. Sometimes overlay works better than multiply. It all really depends on you and what kind of look you want. Now also I suggest that in this 2D window you decide what color you want your shirt, because it's a lot easier to just, let me get rid of this layer. It's a lot easier to grab the paint bucket and then pick a color and throw it onto your shirt than trying to paint all over the shirt with one color and then come back and create another layer. So really, I suggest you decide what color you want first and then dump it in there like that. I'm prone to making dark color shirts like that. And then you create a new layer to paint on top of it, and then we can just go and do stuff. So once we have our new layer, just make sure that once you pick your color and you're ready to start working, you create a new layer. Otherwise, you'll be painting on top of your color here, and that's no good. So what we're going to do now is press the X button at the top and close it, and it's going to ask you, do you want to save the changes? Say yes. And you see now we have a blue shirt instead of our white shirt that we had when we started. Now this is the fun part. Now that you have a new layer established in the 2D window, we can just start drawing on the t-shirt. So you can put any words that you want, any graphics or pictures. So just grab your brush and start painting on it. See? Drawing a design. And you'll see that when we go back to the 2D layer, the markers that we made in the 3D are now on a 2D. So we can just paint and draw whatever we want. Now let's say you want to make words on your shirt. The process is pretty much the same. So we want to create a new layer. I like layers. Not here, not there. We want to go back into our 2D window, double click, and we're going to create a new layer. This way, the way we can have graphics and text, and they won't be like, oops, I accidentally scribbled on top of my text. No, new layer. Close it, say yes. And then we're going to go to our text block, and you can choose whatever font that you want. I like this one. And you can write in whatever you want, whatever color you want. Let's see. I don't know what to write on my shirt. Testing. Oh, wait. That was a show from that, what was that show? Oblongs? Oblongs. And that kid had that no shirt. I always wanted that shirt. So let's just make that shirt on there. No. And then you pick on how big you want your text to be. You could just scroll up here. It's pretty big. No. And then you place it where you want it to be. Now once it's where you want, and you can even right click on it, give it blending options and make it look a little more, like pretty. I'm not good with graphic designs. This is totally out of my realm of expertise. I'm pretty sure somebody's like, oh my god, that's so old. Why are you doing that? Stop it, Zero. Stop it. So you could play with all the Photoshop things and make some text or whatever. I don't know. I'm not good at that. So once you have, or should it be an exclamation point? Like, no. Alright, so how about that? No. Alright, so once you have your text down or whatever you want, you just right click on it. Well, make sure that your text layer is selected and you pick the paintbrush and you click on it. And it's going to give you this error. Just say okay. And then once it's set, you're going to right click on your text that's now an image and you're going to push merge down. And then you see it just pops onto your shirt. So you have no on your shirt. And you can look at it, you see that it's now on your 2D layer. Okay, so goofy stuff aside, let's get into graphic t-shirts. Everybody's favorite, right? So let's say you want to make a t-shirt and you want to put some sort of graphic on here. Now I'm going to pause this real quick because I'm not sure I actually signed out of my stuff on the internet browser, so I don't want you guys seeing my real name. So give me 1 second. Is it going? Alright, so actually I was signed in and you guys would have saw my real name. Okay, so you can just go to your favorite t-shirt company and pick out some graphics, t-shirts you want to wear in real life, but you look at them like, God darn, whoa, that price is high. So go here, shop around, go find a graphic that you like. I'm just going to pick women's stuff because I remember there was a really pretty Stitch shirt in here that I want to wear in Second Life that I'm going to totally swipe. Look around. Wait, what's that shirt? Oh. That's a funny shirt. Okay, so take your shirt, see your picture, open it, save your graphic. Put it somewhere here. Alright, so it should be here. And I'm just going to open this in Photoshop. Now, if you have a shirt that's a different color from your shirt, like if I had a black shirt and I put this on here, it'd be fine. But let's say you have a white shirt and you want this on here, a red shirt, and you got a black background. You don't want to have a black box onto your shirt. So we're just going to erase this black background by cheating and grabbing the magic eraser and then just clicking. I mean, of course it took out the depth there, but I'm sure it's fine. Cleaning up the stuff. There we go. I guess we can leave the depth thing. It's just a sample. So then once we have that, we just select it all. Go like this and have it. And then file, and then copy. Then we go back to our t-shirt. And it's a good idea to make sure your t-shirt is straight. You don't want it to be crooked. I think that might be a signature of my t-shirts. All the stuff, the graphics are crooked. Alright, so once we have it on there, just going to paste. And then we go to select all. I want to say, I forgot how to select all. And we just do the free transform. And you scale it down until it fits on your shirt to where you want it. Okay. And just like our font, we're just going to right click on the layer and then push merge down. So there we have our shirt. And you could try, nah, it's cool. Now I know there are some tips. So when we rotate it, so you have a t-shirt with that on there. Now there are tips and tricks for getting this off of here, and I'm pretty sure the guy who taught me that was like, it's feathering, but I wasn't really paying attention to the tutorial at the time. So you may want to look up feathering and how to get rid of all those sharp edges on the edge. But if you don't have that issue, you don't have to worry about it. Sell it as a retro pixel shirt, you'll be fine. So then you have your texture here, and then you're done. So we are done with our shirt, and it's time for us to export it out. So what we do is we select the texture, and we do save as. Save as a JPEG. If there's no alpha in it, you want to save it as a JPEG. If it's an alpha, then you want to save it as a PNG or a PNG, and then just save it to your desktop or wherever your project folder is where we're supposed to save it. But we're getting wild, saving it on a desktop. So now we have to do one other thing, and that is we're going to export our new shirt because, like I said, I changed the thingamajig on there, the UV, so it's not going to work on our new shirt. And I'm going to click this a couple times. I'm just going to make this Untitled 8. Alright. Then we're going to open up our Second Life. Oh dear, I'm getting messages out the wazoo. I'm going to take off my shirt. Please pardon the brief nudity. I'm going to upload mesh model entitled 8. Remember low and lowest, skin weight. Ignore this stuff down there. This air warning bind shape matrix is not a standard. It's fine. Just hit up, ignore it and hit upload. Okay, so we're going to wear it. Zoom in. And we're going to, I'm using local textures. I'm already broke. This is a perfect time for me to remind you that I used a lot of my money to make this tutorial. So if you really get something out of this, you may want to consider donating to me so I can make more tutorials. Totally not going to spend it at gotchas or yard sales. Anyway, so we put our shirt on. You see, we have a shirt texture. Although, you know what? It's actually pretty funny the way that... with the physics on here and the boobs jiggling, it's like, okay, with Def's hands wiggling like that. What a time to be alive. Indeed, right? Well, anyway, I guess that's it for me. We have covered all the topics and everything you need to know to make clothes. You learned how to model clothes yourself, how to rig them, how to texture them, how to create them from scratch. You guys are now clothing masters. So now it's up to you to actually create your stuff and create your clothing empire in Second Life and make the community grow. So that's all I have to say about this. Oh wait, before we go, let me just toss in this one little tidbit. The Ebody shop has now opened up a creator support group. And the creator, when I talked to him, he's like, it's all your fault. I was like, what? Like, he was all happy. Like, yeah, guess what? I just created a new group. It's for creators. And it's all your fault. I'm like, why? He's like, because, we need more support. So it's all your fault. So you have to join now. Because it's because of you we have this done. So, yeah. You guys are welcome. It's another contributing thing from the mighty Ginkgo. You now have a creators group. Also, they charge you 1L for it, which they don't give back. But, I guess it's okay. It keeps out trolls. Unless they're a rich troll, then 1L is nothing. Okay. We have other tutorials to get to, and this one has gone on long enough. I hope this thing helps you out. And like I always say, good luck on your projects. Have fun.